no way. There's no way not to get them. They're going to see those scores. So all we can do is keep harping on. We have to take care of us in front. We have to keep preparing. We have to stay mentally focused. We've talked an awful lot about how good we can be when we are focused and how well we can play together as a team. I think that's the key. We can't buy into this. Oh, well, look at the matching scores, because if you lose, you lose. It doesn't matter what the other team has done before. It takes one bad day. So that's kind of goes back to your point about treating it like a playoff game, right? If we treat this like a playoff game and we go in there and we don't give our best effort, well, that could happen at a playoff game, and then you're done. So that's the mindset.
We always check the scores just because they're there and they're fun to look at. But in the end, we're not at the games. We can't see what's going on. Who knows? Maybe St. Thomas played a really good game. Portsmouth played a really bad game. You never know. People can look at the Concord game and say the same thing about us. So it's kind of just going out there and knowing that we got to bring our best game because we know that Portsmouth's a really good team, and just execute.
I think at this point, after that Concord game, we kind of realized that we can't take any opponent for granted. We can't think that we're just going to roll over every single team. And we know that Portsmouth is a good team. We faced them twice last year, once in the semis and once in the regular season. We know that they have good players and that on any given night, if we're off and they're on, they could make a run and potentially beat us. So just really focusing on coming out every single game, not underestimating our opponents, and really putting the game away before we get overconfident about it.
Yes, you can look at the other scores, but we really can't compare scores. I mean, every game's different, just like us in the Concord game. People can be like, how's that score 5-4? These kids are scoring 20 goals a game, and they somehow only score 5 and 4 in this game. So I think each game's different. Each game has a different story. There could have been a missing player here. If a player got hurt, they had a slow start. Anything could happen. I think we know Portsmouth's a talented team. We know we played in the semifinals last year. And I think we have to take it into the perspective that they're a very talented team. And they're probably our top competitor, and we have to take it in as that. And it's going to be a tough game. We have to grind
Go, Cole! On him!
I expected the kids to come out with a lot of intensity, with a lot of passion. I wondered how they were going to be. We had talked beforehand about being able to match intensity, but still be able to come out and execute. We were talking about how it was similar to a playoff atmosphere. There was a girls' game beforehand. We were only going to get about a half an hour to warm up. So it's the same type of situation.
Definitely had a playoff atmosphere. Both teams were fired up during warm-ups, screaming, yelling during warm-ups. They had that that short time to warm up for the game. It was real intense. Every possession was intense. Every possession was important. So yeah, definitely had a playoff feel. It was under the lights. A lot of fans there.
Going into it, it was two very good teams going at it. So that in itself kind of feels like a playoff game. But even with the lights, the beautiful sky in the background, the turf field in the stadium, it felt like it was a semifinals or championship, right away, which is great. It's great to get used to that atmosphere and think of every game like that.
That was huge. I liked it a lot. One, because everything was under the lights, like you said, waiting around all day. The national anthem, starting lineups, it was everything. And I think, like you said, getting in that playoff kind of mentality was good. Like beforehand, myself included, everyone else had butterflies, a little nervous, oh, this could be a big game. They got a bunch of kids here.
Come on, get back! Get around! Get around! Delaware! 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 Easy one! JC, clinch! And Barbara, turn your hips! Back pipe!
Starting the score, number 11. John.
What's that side? What's that side? Johnny back! Johnny back!
Starting the score, number 6. Mike. Starting the score, number 6.
It took the first 5-6 minutes to kind of figure out, okay, this is how we're going to attack it. You know, we had planned for all those things. We knew that those were things they could do because other teams have done those things, and those would be possible game plans against us. And then it was, okay, can the kid, not only can they figure it out, but then can we execute with it? And they did. Once we figured out, oh, this is what they want to do, here's how we're going to attack it, then they did. They went out and did it.
1-5. Standing, do not give up the goal. Worst case scenario, shoot the ball out of bounds. Do not give up transition.
Starting the goal, number 9, Andrew Johnson.
Really proud of the way the kids executed, especially in that first quarter. We matched kind of runs. You know, they came out with a lot of intensity. They scored the first goal. The crowd was into it. You know, and then we came right back and we were able to equalize them and then build on that and really come out with a nice lead that could have been an even bigger lead. And then we kept it going. We put the foot down on the pedal in the second quarter and really took it to them and kind of felt really good going into halftime. And just it came down to the kids were really focused. They weren't nervous. They knew what to expect, and they executed really well.
Starting the score, 7.
Come on, Jack. Stay with them, Caleb. Stay with them again, Caleb. Stay with them again.
Johnson save.
You know, I think it was definitely a good start in the second quarter, but what really finished them off was probably more in the third. I think it was, 10-3 going to halftime or something like that. And then they actually came out and they scored the first one. So you're like, all right, maybe the game's not put away. But I think Joe's behind the back goal on that fast break was pretty sweet goal, and I think that kind of really just put the game away from him, and gave us that confidence just to finish it off.
It's just something that in the game I know I can do it. I practice in warm-ups. I throw some behind the back passes. And it gets to that point in that game, I'm coming across the crease. Mike passes me the ball. I kind of bobble it a little bit. So I'm saying I'm running out of angle here if I'm going to take it righty. So it's just quicker to whip it right behind your back. And it's awesome when it goes in. Like, even the refs are coming up to me and saying, oh, like, how are you doing that? So it's pretty cool. And I did it on Friday night as well. So it's like kind of a trend going on. Like, I feel like that's something that I need to bring to the game every game now.
Actually, it went exactly the way I thought it was going to go. Before the game, we were talking. I predicted 15-5 score. That was one goal off, 16-5. But I knew that if we played well, and it's a regular season game, even though it felt like a playoff game really, that I think we should be able to beat them pretty handily. I mean, that's what happened last year in the regular season. Playoffs is completely different. Everyone gives you a game, but I just felt like we had the matchups offense against their defense, and our defense, I knew that they would just do a great job of shutting them down, and that's really what happened.
To go on another team's home field and get a big W like that, never mind them being the 2 seed right behind us, is just huge because it shows that we're playing at a caliber, a playoff-ready caliber that we need to have going in if we want to win the state championship. So just to know that we're playing as well as we are against the second best team in our division just really brings our hopes up, and we realize at this point that we should win, and we know that if we come out and play the way we did Monday night, we're going to.
It definitely played into our favor and how we wanted it to go. We played very well. We played at a high pace. We were very excited for the game. Both teams came in. I mean, the game started out close. The first quarter was close. Second quarter was close, and I think our depth just kind of outplayed them. They just couldn't keep up with their depth, and yeah, I think it definitely played into how we wanted to play and how the outcome we wanted.
I think we're a little surprised. I mean, I think we expected it to be, a little bit of a closer game, but we're always going to take the result. I think we played pretty well, but I'm assuming we're going to see them sometime in the playoffs, and I'm sure they're going to come back with a better response. It'll be a closer game. But the way we play with a lot of intensity, a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, and the goals just kept coming, especially in that second quarter. I think we scored like 5-0 runs, so I think that was pretty important to win.
Kids are really mature in the way that they're going about this. They're not getting too excited or too up or down. They're just going out and surveying and saying, we've been here before, and we can do whatever we need to do to get the offense and defense rolling. I mean, that was the other key thing, is the defense really came out, and other than we didn't stay out of the penalty box at first, and then they got a couple goals that way. They got one transition goal, but 6-on-6 they were so solid, and that's going to be the key going forward in the playoffs. Stay out of the penalty box and limit transition. Don't let them get cheap goals, and that's what they did really well in the Portsmouth game.
I definitely agree. We have 2 strong mid lines. We have 4 good attackmen. Like, let's say one of our middies is having a good day. We have people to fill in. We have someone's tired, someone's injured. We always have the next guy up. So, yes, I think our depth definitely kind of sets us apart from other teams. Other teams don't have the luxury of the depth of that. Most teams only have 1 solid midi line. We have 2, even 3 solid midi lines. I think that's definitely what sets us apart for now, this part of the season. But when you get down to playoffs, kind of like being tired doesn't really matter. Everyone plays through it and pushes through it. So I think it'll be a whole different monster.
I think it makes us a lot more dangerous. I mean, especially in the last game and in the Wyndham game too, they kind of stuck 4 poles on our 4 best players, and it just gave us a chance for other guys to step up, and they did in both games. So I think it's great to make our team. It makes it more dynamic, and it definitely adds confidence to the players who are getting the short sticks and still dodging and scoring, just to show that they can kind of beat everybody. And it's real tough to beat us because there's just so many people that can score.
Separates us from the rest of the team. It's huge. I mean, if they try to take one of our guys out, like they were face guarding me or trying to take me out of the game, you still got 5 starters, I'm saying, that's still very good, very capable players that one-on-one can beat most defenders in this division. So it's really scary for the other teams. And then you got our second line middies who are just as good. I mean, not just always just good, but they're just as good, arguably, as most of the first line middies in the state. And it's just, having that sort of depth is just unbelievable. And I mean, yeah, it makes all the difference, especially for me when they're trying to shut me off, knowing that I can trust my teammates, get them the ball, let them just go at it. It's awesome, and it just makes the game a lot easier.
In the last 7 years, we have won the regular season title in D2 and D3 6 out of the last 7 years. And is it important? I don't know if it's important, but it's a source of pride. I think when you go out, that's just the way we are. We want to win every game we play, and whether or not getting the 1 seed this year was advantageous, or maybe we made it harder on ourselves, I don't know. But you know what? We won every game, and that's what we want to do. And I don't believe in playing for a certain seed. I don't believe in trying to play for a matchup. You want to win a championship, you got to beat all the teams in front of you. So I think it helps in the fact that it sent a message to everybody else that we're prepared, we're coming after you, and you're going to have to bring your best game every time you play us in order to beat us. So I'm really proud of the fact that this team, since 2010, has won 6 of the last 7 championships. They've been in the Final Four 6 out of 7 years. We've won 2 state titles. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pride. But now we really do. We want to finish. We're not going to hide behind it. We want to finish it this year. We want to win a title. So we got counting Milford on Thursday. We got 4 games to do it.
I think definitely if we took care of Brandon and we played to our potential this season, we were going to have the #1 seed, and I think we did. So far this regular season, we played to our full potential, but we still have a lot more to do. But yes, playing to our potential was kind of insinuated the #1 seed would be there.
It's definitely more of a byproduct. Obviously, we want to be the top team in the state. We want to be the #1 seed. But that #1 seed doesn't matter at all if we don't get the state championship. Our goal is not to get the 1 seed. Our goal is to win the state championship. So it's more so a byproduct of a very good season.
You know, I think there's going to be a little emotions, but we definitely don't expect it to be our last game. I think that's kind of when it's going to come out. You know, hopefully that's a championship game. You can't really say it for now. But it's going to be definitely, you know, something playing, hopefully. We're probably our second to last game on the turf field. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to think about it that much. Think about thinking the game, thinking the quarterfinals, semifinals, championship. So I think, you know, maybe a little bit emotional afterwards, but during the game, I should probably not even.
There'll be a lot of emotions. I think it'll be happy playing with the team again, last home game of the season, and like getting ready for the playoffs. The playoffs are coming. But also a little sad because, you know, I've been here since middle school, so 6 years now, and dressing out, playing on that turf every day. It's kind of like you kind of get used to it, and not having that anymore would be a sad moment, something to get used to. But I think it'll be overall a fun experience and just bring back good memories to the 6 years.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, last regular season game out here, it's been a long 4 years, a lot of fun, and I just think it's going to end like that, a lot of fun.
See, it's funny, it's evolved over the years. In years past, I never did a senior night because senior night implies that this is your last home game. It's not our last home game. We have a quarterfinal game. We're playing at home again. We've come around on it, and we've started to do it because we sort of say it as a celebration or a recognition because it is. They've put in 4 years of hard work. They've helped to build this program to get it where it is, and it is nice to be able to honor them. We don't put a lot of emotional stock into it because it's not our last game. We want 3 more games together after that. We're going to get another home game. We at least have 1 more game, and then we're hoping for 3 games. So we don't even want to think of it as being our last game because that's not our mindset. We want to continue to go.
We know we got 1 more at home, but definitely realizing that this is my last game on this turf in the regular season is very sad. The last couple of years as the games have come to an end, I'm like, oh, I got a couple more years. I got another year. So realizing that this is my last game, last regular season game on this field is definitely going to be sad. Last regular season game playing with these players, my friends, my family. Like, it's definitely going to be sad, but we know it's a business. We got work to do, so we're not going to let the emotions take over. We're just going to go out there and play our game.